These tankers are being loaded with Iraqi crude oil. It's being pumped from Iraq's biggest offshore platform in waters close to the maritime borders of Kuwait and Iran. Oil experts in Iraq are increasingly concerned about how rising tension between the US and Iran could affect the country's economy that's already struggling to recover after decades of war and political instability.
Iraq must avoid getting involved in any conflict in the region. We don't want to be embroiled in other countries' affairs. We are focused on trying to secure our country's economy.
The US sent warships, including an aircraft carrier and B-52 bombers, to the Gulf region in May. It's also sent around 2,500 additional soldiers, a Patriot missile system, and surveillance planes. Iraq exports around 3.5 million barrels of oil a day, much of it from platforms like this one. But with recent US-Iran tension and attacks on oil tankers here on the Arabian Gulf, there are rising security fears because around a fifth of the world's oil passes along these waters and through the Strait of Hormuz. The US has accused Iran of attacking 6 oil tankers in the region in recent weeks. Iranian leaders have repeatedly denied responsibility, describing the allegations as dangerous. Security fears for tankers like these increased further on Thursday when Iran shot down a US drone because it had entered Iranian airspace. The US says it was flying in international airspace. Analysts say Iran is trying to use regional and global security fears about maritime safety to its advantage.
It's one of Iran's biggest means of defense. Limiting oil exports through the Strait of Hormuz would affect the Iraqi economy hugely, given that about 95% of its oil goes through the strait. The situation is critical.
President Trump said the US military was cocked and loaded to retaliate against Iran following the attack on the US drone. But he said he changed his mind and stopped it 10 minutes before missiles were set to launch. As they transport, both Iran and the US say they don't want war. But Iranian leaders have previously said that if they can't export their oil under US sanctions, then nor can anybody else. And that's a concern for the operators of ships like these as they transport millions of barrels of oil to markets around the world every day. Charles Stratford, Al Jazeera, off the coast of southern Iraq.